Hey, Gloucester Township. I'm Joe Allen. That's Keith Gibbons.
How's it going?
Your local neighborhood terrorist. Whatever the latest flyer says.
Yeah, whatever I am today. Whatever they're claiming.
See more of you in my mailbox than
I know, right?
anything else. Yeah.
Well,
We're
a little bit behind schedule. As you guys know, the last two council meetings, other obligations have come up, and we weren't able to do it on time. But we are here to recap the September 22nd council meeting. A week late, so sorry about that, but we're a little busy.
I was on a boat in the ocean.
Yeah, I can't do the show without him. So that you're gonna have to wait till now. But anyway, let's get into it here. The first public comments.
Things are going as planned. No speakers.
No speakers. Yep, just as intended.
Just as they wanted it. No speakers. eGov.
None of that.
Also, no eGovs.
Yeah.
First up, second public comment. The first person up was Miss Danni Paris.
Yeah, we don't have a clip of the beginning. She was upset because the date that it fell on was a Jewish holiday.
Yeah.
So she brought that up. And then after that, she did have another comment about being the place being called a nuthouse here, right? Let's play.
Oh yeah, from last meeting. Yeah.
And also, I haven't mentioned to Marilyn Waters. I think that was a disgrace, and Mercado. I think it was a disgrace what you called that lady that was a nut house in here, and you said a mental case. These people have problems. You don't just embarrass them. They've come here for months. I know they've caused you problems because I was here when she was here those times. But you don't say that to somebody that has problems. They need help, so get them help. And the police shouldn't have taken them out like that. You should have escorted them quietly so the whole place didn't see that. And you don't say on tape a nut house and a mental problem. That person has a private problem. That shouldn't be done like that. I taught mental health for almost 50 years. You don't do that and embarrass somebody.
And in your comments to the individual about mental case or nut case, that individual that was escorted out of this council chambers has indicated on many occasions that she suffers from that type of illness.
Right.
It was nothing new, but so I just keep it at that.
This was a nut house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the comment. It wasn't the fact that he said that she had mental issues. She has said that she is under care of behavioral. What is it? South Jersey behavioral health or Camden County, one of the two.
Yeah. But your candidate for council, Ms. Troxel, called it a nut house.
A nut house.
Because that woman.
So.
Anyway. Let's move on to...
They're not doing themselves any favors.
What's that?
They're not doing themselves any favors this year.
No. I think more people are just, awake. But, all right. Mr. Burns, as many of you guys know who have followed along this podcast, actually, I'm going to right now remind everybody to subscribe to this. So if you are watching this podcast... We do this every other week, and we recap the council meetings to break it down, what happened, and try and do it in an entertaining way so that people actually follow along with local government. All right, so let's get into Brian Burns. He's a regular attendee of these meetings. He is always bringing ideas and ways to preserve open space in town. So it was kind of ironic when the mailer came out to people's homes about one of the things Dave Mayer is running on is preserving all this land. This man here finds deals of hundreds of acres of land, talks to the owners, has them agree to save the land, finds the funding, brings it to council, shows them here. All you have to do is literally just boop, vote yes, and we can preserve this land. It doesn't even cost the taxpayers any money.
The mayor's not anywhere in that transaction at all.
What's that?
The mayor's nowhere in that transaction at all.
So, let's call a spade. But, so this is the gentleman. He has he's bringing up a property on Hickstown Road that here. Let's just play the clip and let him talk.
Brian Burns, Sawwood Drive in Ariel. And once again, I want to bring up the Hickstown Road property. You guys, I've given you information already. It's a natural heritage site. Its preservation is supported by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. And I have another letter of support here I'd like to share with you guys from the New Jersey Conservation Foundation, which I just received today and was sent to the mayor. So once again, this is the Hickstown Road property where there is a proposed 4 warehouses to be built. It is a natural heritage site. Its preservation is supported by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and is also now supported by the New Jersey Conservation Foundation, which has been around for 65 years. They saved over 250,000 acres in the state of New Jersey. So the preservation of the site coincides with the master plan reexamination. On page 60 of the master plan reexamination, I handed you guys this information before. It specifically notes that those blocks and lots should be considered a redevelopment zone and rezone something that is more appropriate for the people living in that community. It is also supported by the recreational plan that specifically identifies Tom's Branch, which originates on that site and should also be preserved as well. So there's an incredible amount of support to preserve this site. And my question tonight is, does council have plans as dictated in the master plan re-examination on page 60 to put this to a vote to make this a redevelopment zone? Now, in all my time being in front of council here and watching you guys act as the redevelopment entity, I've seen many builders come in and ask you to declare a particular site a redevelopment zone so they can build townhouses, condos, residential units. And time again, as the redevelopment zone entity, it gets approved. So here I am on behalf of the residents who live in this area, asking you to declare this a redevelopment zone that is supported by New Jersey DEP, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, New Jersey Conservation Foundation, and the township's own master plan re-examination. So why can't we bring this up as a resolution, and members of council, knowing all the information they have now, can vote whether this should be a redevelopment zone and we can protect this open space? It seems pretty simple to me.
It does, Brian. I'd agree.
There's not many parcels of land left that are undeveloped. This is the only one I can think of in the community that is a natural heritage site. So everything points to this being preserved. And why this is not being brought up and proposed as a resolution to be voted on, I can't figure it out. We have one person who wants to build 4 warehouses, and we have hundreds of residents and environmental groups that support its preservation. So what do you think is better? Do we give in to the desire of one person who wants 4 warehouses, or we do what's best for the community? And other than Mr. Mercado, I would like to hear comments from any other council members on this issue. And you have plenty of information I have provided to you to develop those comments.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you
Burns.
for your time.
All right, so that was a longer clip. I thought you had, well, yeah, Orlando does respond to that here in a separate clip.
Yeah.
But basically what he was saying, you know, makes a lot of sense, and it's just, they kind of just stare at you. It's like, how frustrating is it for anybody to go up there and talk and not have anybody respond, you know, back, or like, you can't really see the people's faces or anything, but it's just, they just kind of blank staring at you. It's awkward. I don't know.
The providing the information from the New Jersey Conservation Foundation. As you're aware, Mr. Burns, we do not own that property. That individual, I don't believe that application, Mr. Carter, has that gone to the planning board? It is still a concept plan. Ms. Corbett is not here. And I, quite frankly, Mr. Burns, don't feel comfortable saying that we're going to call it a redevelopment area, and that's someone's parcel of land. Then we go into eminent domain type conversations, and that's not
Well,
something
that is true,
that we're
too.
interested in doing, taking someone's parcel of land.
I do have to agree with that, too. I didn't
Absolutely.
realize, you know, that was part
Well-
of that equation there. I wasn't exactly sure which parcel he was talking about.
Brian is asking for is, I guess, for them to conserve the land, but I think.
Well, maybe what he's proposing is something like he's already done with so many other properties, like Roslyn Bridge and those properties there, where he went to the owners and be like, "Hey, we'd like to preserve this."
Those owners didn't care; they were going to sell the property anyway.
Right.
But I mean, so I understand what Council President's saying there. Like, we can't just obtain that property.
Right.
I think the only thing that we can do though is we can say, yeah, you can still own that property, and if they park anything on that property or whatever they're doing now with it, you can do that, but you can't build on this property because it is protected land, so you can't build on the property. You can own it. We're not going to take it. You can do maybe some other things with it. You can use it for something, but you can't build these warehouses on it because it is protected property, and you'll destroy that land that's there.
Yeah.
So, being a natural heritage, maybe you can prevent building on it.
Yeah, I mean, there are things that are.
And if that's the case, it's already designated as that. So if the person that owns the property realizes, I can't do what I want with this property, maybe then they'll say, okay, we'll sell it to the township.
Right.
So,
well. That's an interesting one because there is a fine balance that you have to.
I see both sides of the story.
Right, I see both sides. There are, and I'll call them bizarre for a lack of a better term, but there's situations where somebody that I know was just visiting someone who they had a boat like in their yard that they had pulled out of the water to winterize, and an osprey build a nest at the top of this boat. I mean, we're talking like a yacht. It was like a pretty big boat, and they can't do anything at all with this boat for like the last 10 years because of this nest that was built on top. Like somebody can't. It's frustrating, right? But some of the things that Brian's bringing up, and I know, like I've gone with him to explore, in the woods here with the Fish and Wildlife. Not on their property, but next to that. But there's that swamp pink, is back there, and there's other protected things. And as frustrating as that might be, there are protected species of things for particular reasons. And I mean, it's unfortunate for the owner if they wouldn't be able to build there. But if those things exist on that property, which I believe is what Brian is saying, like that kind of does exist. So both sides of this thing are a little bit. It's a tough one to weigh out.
Right.
Talking about what he's saying here, but I felt when I was listening to it he was proposing like, hey, this is already like, here's the thing, it's a national heritage site, it's this, that, and the other. Why don't you guys go do the work that I always am out there doing? Why don't you go to the owners and say, hey, here's some of the things our master plan that says to do this here, this agency, that agency. There's a lot of factors, but it might be a little bit of heavy lifting. However, that heavy lifting from their side is kind of speaking of like, that's kind of getting into eminent domain territory.
Yeah, I don't believe in the eminent domain thing at all. So I don't think that's the right path to take. But when this goes in front of the planning board, with everything considered that Brian brought up, there are certain things that they could say, no, look, you can't do that.
Right.
So you can't build here. You can build, maybe you can build a certain amount of feet off the street.
Right.
But then you have to stop at this particular part because that's when you reach this protected land. So this is going to be a thing that's going to happen in planning board. The day that we all went to the planning board for it, it was moved. So it hasn't been addressed yet. This could probably take place in the planning board and maybe get shot down there. But I think what Brian is doing right now is Brian is trying to make this. He's trying to make this known. So this is
it's on the forefront of everybody's mind, right?
Sometimes stuff just slips through,
and
then so Brian makes enough noise about it. Everybody knows about it, and when it comes up in maybe some little fine print somewhere or a consent agenda, it's right there, and everybody knows about it. So, I understand. I got both sides of this one.
Yeah. All right, so we had Angel Powell talking about traffic and speeding here.
Yeah.
My name is Angel Powell.
Good evening, Ms.
I'll
Brown.
be fast and quick.
That's okay. Take your
At the
time.
beginning of your meeting, we first came here tonight. It was about the PNC Bank situation about the apartments. I had mentioned something. Well, I know that the meeting was canceled last time, and the next day, this same gentleman that got hit 40 years ago, right by the Penco Tech, almost got hit again out in front of my hair shop. I think that something should be addressed. Maybe a flashing light like that you have down where the bike trail is. The people are trying to avoid going to the Black Horse Pike because the traffic's getting so heavy. I own the house in the front as well. They are now trying to go from North Pennsylvania Avenue to South Pennsylvania Avenue and go around to where the Meadows Diner is. They're trying to avoid that. I have had one sign taken out already from people out in front. My family lives in the home in the front. My daughter's bedroom was almost hit by a pickup truck, and I didn't do anything about it because I'm a business owner and I didn't want no problems.
I saw you speaking to Officer Arenik regarding that, and Mr. Officer Arenik will follow up with you. And the speeding on Ohio and Pennsylvania Avenue, is that something, Chief, that maybe we can have traffic go out there and take a look at it? Okay.
All right. Yep. So this is stemming from, I guess it was 2 weeks ago. The PNC drive-through bank was looking to be redeveloped, so she came out. And that is Pennsylvania Avenue that she's referring to. So that's where she was just coming out in support of reasons why not to build whatever, how many of her units that was, 8 apartments or however many apartments it was.
Yeah, and there's I cut her clip down kind of just to the point, so there's a bit of it missing, but I guess people are kind of speeding through there too because of, and somebody else brings it up because somebody else kind of brings up the point too later. People cut through that area too to get through past certain parts of the pike that are when they're crowded too. So it's just
yeah, that was brought up by I think a few residents during that.
Thought it was interesting too at the end of that clip that she has had the problem, but because she's a business owner in town, didn't want to bring it up because she didn't want any trouble.
Didn't want any problems. Yeah, I mean you hear that kind of stuff. People are afraid of
that.
Retaliation in this town. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I've
actually
heard that.
You know what? I'm wondering. She mentioned something that had my memory. And do you? And maybe this isn't the best place to bring this up, but do you recall an officer hitting someone off duty, butcheroni
on a bicycle?
On that right by that Penco Tech is what she's like hit that person. That's when she initially said that. That's what I was thinking it. Did they ever? Does anything ever come with that?
I've never heard anything about that.
Open investigation or something, or
I've never heard a follow up on that.
Yeah, I never heard a follow up on that. I know that has me curious. Anyway, let's move on to Mr. McNeil here. This is clip 3.
Brad McNeil, Ohio Avenue. I'm actually here tonight to discuss something that was said at the last meeting by Miss Grace. It was my first time speaking at one of these meetings. It was my first time at a council meeting. So I'm going to approach this as delicately as possible, given the delicate nature of it. We got up and we talked about our issues with that project that is now being diverted elsewhere. It was schools being overcrowded, the density of the area, the traffic increase, the MUA restrictions, all of it. Not once, I don't believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, did race of the people that would be moving into these areas got brought up.
How would anyone know that,
So,
by the way?
You wouldn't.
I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I'll speak for myself. To get in front of a board of strangers and there's in the room of strangers, it's extremely intimidating. So to have the courage to get up and speak what is on your mind, it takes a lot. And then to have it reduced to kind of calling us out as, maybe we're racist and we don't want people of diversity in our community. That kind of talk to me is that the hatred that stays in the forefront of everybody's mind. It's talked about for no reason, in my opinion, on my side. It came out of nowhere. It seemed unnecessary. For me, it's that kind of talk, those kind of questions out of nowhere that automatically, because diversity chose not to show up, and I don't, again, know how that would have been our responsibility. But to bring it to that just seemed like a smack in the face, and it hinders communication, open communication, and it stifles bravery and courage for somebody to speak again or somebody to speak at all if what they're going to say is going to be misconstrued as racist. I just think that kind of talk just keeps hatred and racism not just alive but thriving.
Well, Miss Race pissed off a few people.
Yeah. So, look, I gave a pretty detailed my thoughts on this during last podcast. I thought it was I thought it came out of nowhere and it was way uncalled for, and I feel like that particular label gets thrown around so much online these days too that it almost doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
Like growing up, like that was like one of the worst things you could possibly be, right? And it's thrown around so much anymore that it almost doesn't mean anything. But it's still a disgusting thing. But now it's just now, and that meeting from the last meeting, there was no mention of it at all.
Yeah.
And it just the fact that it was I don't know, man. I don't like watching the last meeting. I went, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah, I didn't know where it came from either. I don't know. But this does remind me we should put our disclaimers up here in the videos. Joe's opinions are his own. My opinions are my own. But I agree that I don't know where it came from out of there. And I guess we weren't the only people that saw that. I know I had several people reach out and say, "Did you see that?" I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Was that really?
Yeah.
Did I see it? Of course I saw it. We do a whole podcast about this. Of course I saw the council.
I had people reach out before the podcast and say,
"Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Don't touch that subject." And I'm like, we're not gonna forget that it happened,
right?
Just because it's a touchy subject. No, we're gonna talk about it. This is what we talk about.
Orlando
responds with.
Well, no, we have another clip too first.
Before.
Oh, yes.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. What I'm about to say is, as individual, as a parent, as a human, and surprisingly, as a Hispanic. I may not look Hispanic. I am a first-generation American on my dad's side. Came from Cuba when he was 8. My mom is Puerto Rican. But guess what? I appear like your normal white chick with hey dudes and pretty basic. So when somebody who has the responsibility to represent every single person in this township makes conversation or writes a letter 3 years ago and uses divisive language and that is laced with hate, but yet also says it here in public in a meeting, I have a problem with that. To say that there's no diversity in a crowd, I have a problem with that, because diversity is not just a color of your skin. It could be that you're a single parent. It could be that you have a disability. It could be that you're gay. It could be that you're a woman. It could be that you're over 40, over 50, over 60. But to say that there is no diversity in the audience, so therefore these people that came, their opinion or their thought process really doesn't matter because you are responsible or you want to hear from the population that you represent, I have a problem with that. Using language of our or my. I have a problem with that because you guys are representatives of the whole entire township. So it's the township, not my township, not our township, my township. These individuals came out and they spoke to you from the heart. One almost started to cry. I watched that meeting last week or 2 weeks ago 3 times. And I was here, so 4 times I had to hear it. I went to bed outraged. Then I watched it again. I was still outraged. Second time, I was a little bit mad. Third time, after I digested it, I was like, what the truck? How can you discredit these individuals because something weighs heavy on your heart? You're supposed to be impartial. You took an oath, all right? Maybe you didn't take accountability 3 years ago, but you need to take accountability now. If you would have just simply apologized for your words that you spoke to these individuals before the meeting, you wouldn't have me up here. You wouldn't probably have these people up here, but you don't take accountability. And I hope everybody here and everybody in this township makes you accountable for your words and your actions because it's unexcusable. That's all I have to say.
All right, so there, I'll do a little spoiler alert. Miss Race did not apologize. She did address it, and we'll get to that. It's a little lengthy. We'll get to that one later on, but we did have Council President respond back.
This is an interesting response here, too. Well,
Mr. McNeil, I want to thank you for your comments. I don't know if Ms. Grace would like to respond to that, or maybe respond at the end of the meeting. But
she don't even look over at him. She's like, I'm texting.
She's asking ChatGPT how to respond.
And I'll also address Mrs. Hendry's comments too with yours, Mr. McNeil. When I was in college, and those may have heard this from me, in the pursuit of food, I learned things.
No, we've heard this story.
I'm at a Kwanzaa celebration. And I didn't even know Women's History Month existed. This is the early 90s. Going to Hispanic Heritage Month celebrations, learning about different cultures because I knew there was going to be food there, and as a college kid, you're just looking for food. But in the pursuit of food, I learned things.
I learned
about different cultures. I learned about people. I learned that basically we're the same. We all want the
great
same
actor
things for our families and our kids and our neighborhoods.
If I've heard this story, she has. So she's still laughing at it.
That you guys stayed here for the celebration. You probably had no idea what they were singing, but I saw some toe tapping, and
because I'm assuming about you guys.
His wife was there, and she was, moving along. Okay, and it was. I do appreciate it, but maybe you learned a little something today, and from what was said, and I think that we all have an opportunity to learn from folks. And one of the things I try to do here is clarify when things are erroneous, because people post things online and they're talking about 25 units were going to be there, and that's why I tried to say no, it's 6, it's 3 apartments, 6 townhomes, commercial space, and I try to clarify that, make sure that we're on the same page, because sometimes people take information and it's not exactly the true information that's available, and people will just go on with that. But I'm glad that you took the time to come here and express your concerns, Mr. McNeil, Ms. Hendry, with her comments.
I'm very disappointed. I'm getting word salad here, and I don't even have dressing on it.
So, had they had the Hispanic Heritage celebration, the council meeting before, Mr. McNeil would have understood her concerns.
Oh, yeah.
Because
now he learned something. Did you hear him? He told you, maybe you learned something today.
He would have learned something, and then he wouldn't have been so damn racist.
Right, yeah.
By asking about traffic.
Right.
What the hell was that comment?
It was word salad is exactly what it was. It was, I'm going to just tell you a story.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to say that I addressed your concern.
And
what I'm going to do is still I'm going to put it back on you that maybe you learned something now because you didn't know it before.
Yeah, maybe you learned something, Mr. McNeil. Because I tell you what, the rest of the people watching the council meeting, they didn't learn anything.
Yeah. All right. So we had Dino DiDomenico here. Great. Where's our...
I cut Dino's clip. Dino's clip was like 5 minutes or so.
Where are we at
I
here?
cut it down to a couple different things.
Joe, give me back where we're going here.
Keith,
I messed up the buttons.
He's got me so lost here now.
There we go. 6.
Dino DiDomenico, Pennsylvania. The conservation, game lands, whatever the gentleman, Mr. Burns. I definitely resonate with that, and I hope you guys give that some consideration. Like, do your due diligence on that one. Open space conservation. That's what makes this town still great. You ever go down Black Horse Pike and you look at Blackwood Lake, and yeah, there was a day that you could drink the water out of there. But, all right, but it's still open space, and my kids canoed in it many, many years when they were young. So definitely give that its due diligence. I don't need certainly to follow up what Dana said. That's Brad. That's certainly something just needs a little soul searching. You guys are all leaders of this community, but don't think the people that sit here aren't leaders at what we do. I have a very demanding job, and I'm a leader. Those expectations run. You expect to be treated like a leader with respect, and the people that come here to discuss anything and everything, they deserve their that respect as well.
Mr. Dino, thank you for your comments regarding open space. And you've been here a long time if people were drinking or swimming in Blackwood Lake. Okay, so, but I appreciate your comments of soul searching and leaders, and that, and yes, we all have positions that we're in, whether it's coaching a little league team or at work or in our church or in our schools. We all play a certain role, and it's all part of a community. So I do appreciate that you made those comments. You had a question regarding it for that particular parcel. When I spoke to the mayor and some of my colleagues on council, again, the comments that were made 2 weeks ago, the hesitation from the developer, and I guess they anticipated it was going to be a long road to hoe, and so that led to us having a conversation with them saying, let's acquire this, let's use it for our downtown Blackwood area. Heck, we see people park there during Pumpkin Festival. It's crazy. I got to park all the way deep past your shop, Miss Powell, deep there to go there. So maybe it's parking, maybe it's some type of park. Who knows what it may be, but it will add to your character and be part of the character that you have there in Blackwood Estates. So when that time comes, we will involve you in those discussions because you've taken the time to come here, express your concerns. We want you to be aware of what's taking place there.
Wow. So he's gonna personally make sure he's involved with those discussions there.
Yeah, man,
That's
we're doing.
I know the NPP program that happened downtown Blackwood. They were asking, like, there was a meeting that were held online, a Zoom thing. Everybody, logged in, and there was like a call for who would like to participate in the NPP program. I know several people who like raised their hand, said, "Yeah, absolutely, I would like to be, involved." And they're like, "Oh no, sorry, it's full." Like, okay, how many people are there? Well, there's no real limit. Well, okay, then how is it full? Well, we don't need any more help. Because
Right.
who it was that was helping,
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, this guy, Dino, is he's on. Anytime something happens with that property, we'll get you involved in this whole thing. Where did that come from? Have you ever heard that come out of the?
Yeah, you know what they should? They should. Dino, did you vote by mail yet? And if he's like, yeah, and they were like, all right, piss off.
Yeah. But
there's a month to go. All of a sudden, we're including people in.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Well, anyway, race responds here. In
also, people used to drink out of Blackwood Lake.
Well, later say that must have been a real long time ago because he doesn't, I guess, recall that. And he's been council president for 20 years or so, or 20-ish years.
Yeah. You think that's how he got in?
I don't know when. That guy did mention something last meeting when he was there, too, that led you to believe that it was Actually, I think he said how long he was here. 50, 60 years or
40,
something like that.
yeah.
It was a long time, but I don't think that was the point of it. So anyway, let's play the response without any apology. So take notes at home. We're going to play a game. You can, I don't know, take a shot if you, if you hear an apology
It's
in
an
this.
8-minute long clip, so I think we'll probably.
All right, we'll pause it in between a couple times here.
Yeah, we'll do some pause and we'll do some commentary on it.
Comment on some things.
It's pretty wild here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want people glazing over, right?
I do want to address the communication. And I want to bounce off with Mrs.
What communication?
So has just mentioned freedom of speech. When I became a councilwoman, one of the things that has happened to me is I've lost my voice because we've gotten so attacked on so many different issues that
Who attacked?
misconstrue something someone says, and then we go home and we're like, we didn't say it that way, we didn't do it that way. Just know that I wanted dialogue of open communication. I asked, can I come to your community? No one reached out to me so that I can.
All right.
That was a good point to stop there.
Yeah. So she lost her voice because of the lack of communication. What have we been saying for the last year?
Right.
There's no dialogue back and forth anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. Dave Leader has been saying over and over again. I ask a question, I get the wrong answer. When I try to present you with the question formatted in a different way so that you understand it, you yell at me for speaking up.
Right.
So things get confused, and then you have to go and ask at the next meeting.
It's our fault.
Then,
though. It's our fault.
Right? And now we're saying,
now she lost her voice.
Things get confused, and I lost my voice because I can't. Also, things also get misconstrued too because there is no discussion. Aside from the new council format, for years now, I've been going to council meetings and thinking, this doesn't look like every other council meeting where people up on the dais talk about their opinions on something, and they have different opinions and they vote differently and there's discussion. Right. This has never happened in Gloucester Township.
Right. If you read it's called Robert's Rules of how like a meeting is held, and there is a specific point in time where like, okay, when you're making a vote, this is what we're bringing up to the table here.
Yeah.
And then is there any discussion about it from anyone on the panel who's voting? There is never a dialogue. Never. Well, I shouldn't say never. Maybe there were one or two times, a handful of times in the last 5 years I've been paying attention that there has been dialogue. That's what we're saying. Where's the dialogue? How'd you lose your voice? You're the one not talking when you have
you've never had a voice.
To talk.
You've never had a voice.
Yeah. I also liked where you stopped it there, that somehow it was the people you called racist were supposed to reach out to you to invite you to their neighborhood.
Yeah, like, let's get that lady.
Hold on.
Let's get the one lady that insulted us the most. We'll call her and we'll have her come to our neighborhood.
All right, let's keep going.
Let's keep going.
See what you see. And no one reached out to me. Not one person wanted to talk to me. So
no one wanted to talk to her.
I took a look at what you were talking about. I took notes on what you had said. I wanted to make sure that diversity was not a consideration in your community.
What notes did she
went there herself to look at it, to see if diversity was an issue. What the hell does that mean?
Right.
Did she camp out in a car with tinted windows, counting people, going, oh man, there is not enough different ethnicities in this neighborhood. I think they're racist.
Right. I don't know what
that all meant. What notes was she taking to find out that was not a thing? And how racist is it to go and do that to begin with? Oh my. All right.
The reason why that had, I guess for me as a woman of color, it kind of triggered me because when I was 18, I moved here and I bought a house in Brittany Woods. That house cost me $48,000. And in 2015, that house was less than $48,000. I took the time to help get that neighborhood back in order. There were drug addicts in that community. There was abandoned homes in that community. There was a lot going on, and it was hard to even live in that community. But I took that on. with some other community members. And when I hear words like my property value is going to drop, or there's going to be a lot of abandoned cars, or going to be 5 cars, it triggered me in a way that I had to ask that question. I'm not calling anyone in this room a racist. I'm a social worker. I advocate for
abandoned cars.
Social workers can't be racist. Though.
I know, right? Abandoned cars comes up, and I'm like,
there was never a talk about the conversations I recall where people were saying there's physically not enough room to fit the amount of cars if there was a person that had a car that lived in that
and
house.
The guy said that he had to work on his car like in his yard or something like that.
Where did abandoned cars come from?
Abandoned cars, and I don't know. Do abandoned cars? Did they particularly gravitate towards a particular race? Because
I don't know.
Look, I got a lot of family that have a lot of broken down cars, so I don't know. I was like,
well,
I don't know.
I don't know where that came from either, because there was never a mention of abandoned cars.
It's crazy, but
the mention was about not having enough parking. That was it.
Yeah, I didn't know that abandoned cars were like a diversity thing.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, I am a woman of service. I've spent my entire life being a woman of service. I would never say to anybody that you're a racist. That's never came out of my mouth.
These kind of things never come directly out of their mouths. It's always a different way of saying it. Kind of like we covered this on a election update, where you are the the defund the police guy, right?
Right.
But they've never actually said it.
Right.
It's just
it's implied.
It's implied.
There's signs that don't say Dave Mayer supports the police. It says let's support the police, implying I don't support it.
She didn't say that those people in that neighborhood were racists, but she said a lot that pointed everybody that watched the meetings minds there.
Said inclusion. And sometimes when you think of somebody moving into your neighborhood, and I was the first black on my block, and another lady was, and I watch a lot of white people just move out. And when I hear certain things, it triggered me, and I had to speak from my heart, because I want to make sure that we are talking about the issues, because Gloucester Township is...
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what it means.
She moved in. Somebody else moved in. She mentioned that that the neighborhood wound up in drugs and that property values went down. And then she mentions that that the white people moved out. I don't know what that implies. I don't understand. It's a weird thing to say. I don't know what that implies.
Well, you haven't lived her experience, so you don't know what she's referring to.
Look, if a neighborhood goes downhill for any reason, right? If some crazy rednecks move in next door, right, and they like riding 4-wheelers, and I'm probably just eventually just gonna move, right? It has nothing to do with race. If the neighborhood that I live in goes in a direction that I don't like it, and the police don't do anything about it, I'm just leaving, right?
Well, again, not to disagree with you on our show here, but we don't know what there was a point in time where that definitely happened, because people literally were racist. So we don't know what that's like, because we're not on that side. I'm not defending her calling a whole room of people racist, but there are things that we have not experienced to know how that feels.
Yeah. There's definitely a term from way back that some people just up and leave when they don't like the demographic.
Right. I don't know what year she's talking about in here, but I think
certain towns are very famous for that. But she went into detail talking about drugs and abandoned houses. That has nothing to do with race. People left because of the situation that neighborhood was in. That's what she portrayed right there. So that wasn't. I mean, that's my point. There is that she didn't say, "Man, as soon as I moved in, everybody left. No, she said that she moved in.
Is that what she implied? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
she's implying that she moved in, so everybody moved out. But it was.
No, I don't think that she applied that. I don't think that she implied that either.
Okay.
She just said that like those people left, but she also said that property values went down. They had problems with drugs, which is that's not a racial issue. That is like every ethnicity has an issue with drugs. Mm-hmm. So I don't know where she's going with this. She's all over the place.
Let's
with
play it. Maybe she explains herself.
Big melting pot, and I'm a big fan. One of the things that I love about downtown Blackwood is that I am thrilled to see Harmony Hall. I am so thrilled to watch, just slowly. I've been here for 4 years. Watch the historical Blackwood. I want to see it look somewhat like a Collinswood, somewhat like a Haddonfield. I want to see that happen in downtown Blackwood. I also want to see
Are those towns very diverse.
Historical. I want that to remain.
Haddonfield? I don't think so.
But when I reach out to ask one of you to just talk to me and
Collingswood is also not like
see
government owned.
Yeah,
Main
no
Street.
one reached out to me. And Miss Hendry, I don't know why you think that somehow I need to soul search, or I don't know who said that, but I don't have to soul search. I know that I had to say something that was from my heart and not calling anyone any of that. I'm a big fan of downtown Blackwood. I want to see that community thrive.
I don't know where Blackwood came into this. Downtown Blackwood came into it?
Boswood wanted to move. I was excited to see something happening in downtown Blackwood. That is a beautiful community. And so
that's the same community we're talking about. You just called racist that you didn't know.
Not be able to communicate with you, not be able to share something with you, not for us not to have open communication, for us to come together and just it's still that divisive is not coming from me. If you want me to you have my phone number.
Who has her phone number? Do you have her phone number?
I don't have her phone number, no.
I can come visit, but I did go there. I had to do it on my own.
Oh,
nobody
man.
reached out to me, and I don't know why.
Because
but what happens is, I lose my voice as a person that's supposed to serve 65,000 residents.
Everybody else is uncomfortable right now.
I don't just serve one color. I serve all constituents in this town. I get calls all the time about variances, about pools, about everything. I am a community person. I'm a community council woman.
Who's calling her?
I don't know who these people are, but they're people she knows. I want to know who has her number. She said, you all have my number. Who was going to reach? How do they get a hold of you?
I don't have her number.
You send messages to anyone. There's never a response. So why would anyone know to reach out to you? How did anybody know that you wanted to be reached out to? All you did was just tell them that it concerns you that, that there weren't.
Hey, Caroline, email your number to Joe at gtobserver.com so that we can.
Yeah, maybe we'll get you live on the show one day and ask you.
You got a couple months left, so.
All right, let's keep going here.
That's what I am. I have to learn the budget. I have to learn the boards. I have to learn how to be on the housing authority. I have to learn those things. But when you tell me as a social worker or someone as a councilwoman who's always been community all my life, that cares about people all day long, that take people in, what my mother did, what my grandmother did.
What does that have to do with
everyone?
No idea what we're talking about right
no
now.
matter what color you are, I care about you. And I care mostly, as a councilwoman, I care mostly about what happens in your community. I want to see you thrive. I want to see every community thrive. We've been able to do that in Brittany Woods.
So,
like to do that in Presidential, Lacascata.
She wants your community to thrive and to do good.
Mm-hmm.
The people from a community came out and told problems that they would have, like real problems, solid issues.
And she insulted them.
And she then insulted them by implying that they're racist.
Yeah.
The one guy I talked about, he said, it's not my fault that diversity didn't show up. A meeting was announced. The topics were out there, and I don't know who showed up. I know I showed up. That's basically what he said.
Yeah.
And she's saying, I want the community. But your actions show something completely different than what you're actually saying right now as your rebuttal speech. So.
And do you recall any other discussions that she's ever been a part of that didn't have to do with Brittany Woods?
No.
That's the only
thing I know about
the only
Brittany
thing stands that when she was actually vocal about something was Brittany Woods, and that's when she lived in Brittany Woods. She no longer lives in Brittany Woods.
And
so.
the funny part about that is the letter that Dina was talking about.
Yes.
In that, she implied that I was racist and Dina was racist.
Yes.
And implied that we were against poor people or something along those lines. However, the facts of the matter are they were working with a developer to do something that was not supposed to be done. Where there were like a low income housing.
They were going to separate them.
And there was the regular non low income housing that they were looking to segregate them apart to literally do the opposite of what should be done there.
Yes.
And we were fighting to stop it. It's supposed to be that they just blend in and no one knows the difference. And it is what it is, so that it's not labeled. However, they were going to label it. But by doing that, somehow it was racist. Like, what? Are you kidding me? Are you literally kidding me? Look, you're accusing me of doing exactly what you're doing.
The people of Gloucester Township, like, she was appointed and then eventually was voted for.
As an
now that you know,
that's not an incumbent.
Now that you know what is there, for God's sake, pay attention.
All right, just keep going.
Keep going.
Let her talk.
Towns that are struggling. Downtown Blackwood, struggling. There's no business.
These people are from downtown Blackwood.
I would love to see that whole stretch be a vibrant, wonderful, active, day and night community where you can walk around, you have businesses, you can do things, and you really enjoy your community. I want to see that. So if you want to talk to me
by stacking housing on top of each other,
want me to come see I've been there, but if you want to talk to me about your concerns, and I wrote them down, let's talk. I'm open to that. And I don't want to have to lose my voice when I ask a question. And then it comes back to me as, oh, I need to soul search. That's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is say something.
I'm not trying to soul search.
Try to understand
I'm just trying to say
where
something.
You're coming from, and you understand where I'm coming from. So maybe I had to share my history for you to understand that sometimes when you say things like property values dropping or cars being abandoned in a community.
No one said either of those things.
Here as a person of color coming into a community where that has been a historical thing. Property values drop.
Who said that?
Let's
was
go
that
back
said?
to the tape because I wrote it down. But I want to say,
I don't think that they said.
You want to have open communication about what's going on in downtown Blackwood where you live. I am here for you. I am here, not as a woman of color. I'm here as a woman that is the person that's serving you, that's here to answer your questions, that's here to see what's going on in your community. And again, I will say it 100 times. There is many things that
we don't have time for 100 times.
But being a community activist is not one of them. If you have a problem in your community, I'm definitely going to listen. I'm definitely going to act on it. I'm definitely going to support what's in the best interest of what's going on in your community. That is my passion. My passion.
Well,
thank you.
Well, Ms. Race, the passion didn't actually translate into reality because all these people came here and they did already tell you all the problems that they had with this potential property.
Them.
And instead of taking those notes, you did something different.
Man, that's
And I like that. And she is an activist, but she'll listen. That's the act that she'll do. Listen. Anyway, that was.
I don't honestly think that she cares about me. And this community around here, this part of the community, I don't feel like she cares about it.
I don't know what people care about, so I'm not going to say.
She's never.
I can infer
she's
that
never commented on anything else that has ever happened in this township, other than something that's happened in her neighborhood.
Well, that is true that she talks about Britley Woods a lot, but that's the only thing that she talks about. She doesn't know that the people that here in Blackwood Estates are downtown Blackwood. And she's talking about like how much she loves downtown Blackwood and how she loves to see how diverse it is
of the main stretch.
And then they're downtown. Literally talking about like a. Was that me or am I misunderstanding that she didn't understand that we're the same people?
Well, she deflected it onto like the bank building and how great the bank building was, and I don't know. You guys should
then it should be more like Haddonfield.
Grateful that we made this amazing building that you'll never be able to use unless you have kids that dance or something. I don't know.
No, it was, it was bizarre, I think.
But
there was not an apology, right? I didn't. So unfortunately, none of you people at home got to play the game and do anything.
No, eventually, and we didn't get to grab the video, but eventually, I guess. Dina never got her apology. If you were keeping track, Dina never got her apology. And apparently, it was on Facebook. I saw Dina chased her down the parking lot, asking for an apology, and she did not want to have anything to do with her.
No.
So, yeah,
she claimed she did apologize, but she also claimed that there was somebody worried about their property values and abandoned cars, and neither of those things happened.
So property values, I think that we may have mentioned property values, or somehow it may have come up.
I
don't think that it came up in the last meeting. I don't know. We could probably roll back the last podcast and check. But the thing is, if you load a town up with a bunch of apartments, generally I feel like that's going to affect your property values. So, not so much like.
Wait, Joe. What is going to affect it? The number of units of any people that live there? Or are you being racist and implying that?
No, so I'm thinking of like when I think of a town loaded up with like apartments, right?
Okay.
Lindenwold comes to mind. There's entire areas of Lindenwold that are nothing but apartments.
Mm-hmm.
And look, you can go buy a cheap house in Lindenwold. My guess is it's probably because it's
so there's a correlation, is what you're saying.
Because it's full of apartments. And if you go to a really nice area with houses that have like 1 acre of land, so houses are spread out and stuff like that, those houses generally are worth more money.
Yeah. I know.
Rather than houses that are on top of each other, surrounded by apartments. I'll tell you what, if I'm looking at a house and it's in a little wooded area versus another house that's like right up next to an apartment complex, and it's the same house, I'm going to pick the one in the wooded area because there's less people around me. It's just that simple.
That's
there's
just
less people, less traffic, less noise, all of that. So, yeah, I value that house more than the one next to the apartment. And there's nothing racist about that. It's just the fact that I don't want to move to a house where, like, look at the new houses they're building. Remember, like they were talking about like the space in between the houses, and they've reduced it. I don't want one of those houses,
right?
Because they're on top.
They
of each
don't have
other.
parking they
have each other.
More units than there are parking.
So I will pay less for that kind of house. It has nothing to do with the potential of anybody that could ever move into that house.
All right. Well, we're going on and on about something here, but
let's get into the lighter side of things now.
Yeah.
And talk about Jim Nash's thing.
First, I want to thank you guys for coming out again, for getting involved with local government. Thank you very much for being here. I want to congratulate all the recipients of the awards today. And not to change the topic, but maybe leave here with a little bit lightheartedness. I lived in this town for my entire life, and I'd like to patronize I'm going to do another plug. So I like to patronize Gloucester Township businesses. And this past weekend, my wife and I didn't know if this was the right time to bring this up, but I feel like we need a little lightheartedness here. We went to Glendora Ice Cream, so I want to give them a plug. They're a great little store on Black Horse Pike, family-owned business, homemade. I don't know if it's gelato. I don't know if it's ice cream. I don't know the difference, but it was fantastic, and I recommend them. Have a good night.
Jim Biden there.
Yeah, that's
That is
a great thing to see that opening up. I don't know, you don't probably go down that way very often, but they are open now, which is really nice to see. People in and out of there. And
I drove by the other night. Yeah, they had the lights on, people in line inside.
Yeah.
Is there a place to park? That was a big
no,
thing.
and people are complaining about that. I'm like, you guys should go tell Larry's that they might want to shut down because there's not any parking. They've been there for 100 years or something like that. But no, there's parking in the back. The place is actually really big inside. It goes all the way in the back.
Can you park behind it?
Yeah, you can park behind it. There's street parking over there. But yeah,
there's an open lot behind it.
Yeah, there's a lot.
You can
back
park in there
there.
and not get towed if you're in there for a couple minutes.
No, it's their lot. They have a parking lot. Yeah.
What the hell was everybody pissed off about?
Because people just like to complain about stuff.
Everybody's like, stupid that they're
well,
there.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no parking.
There's no parking.
Oh.
You better go tell Larry's there's no parking.
I drove behind it when I'm like, there's a big lot back here. I don't.
Yeah.
But everybody's mad because they opened it. Well, that's so ridiculous. And everybody's mad. They're like, you shouldn't have moved there. There's no parking. And I'm like, I guess that lot we can't use.
They're mad about that, but the property that they literally paid $5 million of tax dollars, so that also has no parking. That's okay. That they're part owners of, by the way. But it's a little business down the street. Let's get mad at him.
There. But yeah, have you been to Larry's? You have, right?
Yeah.
You got ice cream?
Larry's
now.
Larry's Cold Cuts is across the street. You're talking about.
I've actually never been to Larry's before either, but I hear
they have great sandwiches.
I hear Larry's is fantastic sandwiches.
Yeah,
but the Glendora ice cream.
Yeah, they're not like normal flavors. We'll call them. It's like he said, it's a gelato, some kind of.
It's not normal.
It's like you can't go in there and get vanilla. Like there's different. I forget what I got when I.
Oh, so it's like it's pretty unique then.
Yeah, it's like a unique place, and there's different. Like you can get like a banana,
oh, okay.
Like a drizzle thing on it. Like there's all kinds of but it's really good.
Oh, that's good. Because
it's more artsy. It's not like you're pull up and get like an ice cream cone from.
A couple ice cream places have they're gone now, but they had opened up around this area, not necessarily Gloucester Township, but it was like you go in there and they have like vanilla chocolate and strawberry. And
yeah.
I can get to the grocery store, and I was wondering, and eventually they're gone, and it's like, yeah, I saw that coming.
Yeah.
So I wonder when this place opened up, because I don't know. Speaking of ice cream, my absolute favorite ice cream place anywhere, mostly for the amazing water ice, is Sundays on Route 73 in Berlin.
Oh yeah, you've told me about this place before. That's how much you love it. I've heard about your ice cream place.
They've been around since the 90s, but the flavors and everything else, it's everything's homemade, and it's amazing. And I'm like, when you open, if anybody anywhere around this area opens something up, that's what you're competing against.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like anybody that opens up. So when I saw that opening up, I'm like, oh, I really hope they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So you tell me that it's unique. I got to go.
Well, it is. I mean, I remember from my my concert days in Philly at Festival Pier. We had a vendor that we used. This will leave you guys on a note after we're done this clip. Look up on YouTube, Little Baby's Ice Cream. It's bizarre. They had the weirdest like flavors, but they had a commercial that was out, and it's just go on YouTube and look it up. Just look up Little Baby's Ice Cream, and thank me later. But
never heard of this.
if you like weird things. But anyway, that's it for the show here. Here dogs barking,
so we're gonna
telling
us it's time to wrap up.
Let's go. See you guys.